Lamb, fancy, expensive, probably something you would only eat at a restaurant, right? Wrong. There's a cut that no one talks about. Cheap, packed with flavor, and criminally underrated. And cooked the right way, it just melts in your mouth. Stuffed, rolled, and the sauce, And if you ever thought lamb was too hard to cook, stick with me. We're turning this into a restaurant style meal that you can easily make at home. Zero stress, just really good food. Let's do it. Let's talk about lamb breast. If you've never heard of it before, you're not alone. It's the forgotten cousin of the more expensive lamb shoulder or leg. And that's exactly why it's so affordable. Now, before we do anything, we need to season this properly. We're going deep flavor mode here, and that starts with salt. And I don't mean a little sprinkle like you're afraid of commitment. I mean season the hell out of it. At least a few hours ahead, ideally overnight. Because here's the truth, an overnight seasoning, that's fine. Just leave it for on 1 hour minimum, and don't be afraid of over seasoning it. Most likely, you just under season it, so make sure there's a nice amount of salt on all the meat. Some people think lamb breast is a waste of time. Yeah, because spending triple the price on fancy cuts just to overcook them is so much smarter. We're stuffing this lamb breast and we're going bold with flavor. No half measures. First up, chorizo. This stuff is flavor gold. Smoky, a little spicy, and packed with umami. Instead of chopping it by hand, I threw in the food processor and pulsed it a few times. Why? Because I'm lazy. The red pepper. Some people will tell you, red pepper isn't necessary. Those people are wrong. It brings sweetness, depth, and color, which makes the final dish so much better. I small dice it so it melts into the filling while keeping a bit of texture. Then we've got onion and garlic. I'll small dice the onion because no one wants to bite into a huge chunk of onion. And garlic is minced because, well, that's just how garlic works. And if you cook anything without garlic, I assume you're a vampire. And if you're a vampire, don't come into my kitchen. It won't end well for you. And finally, some pine nuts. I know. Pine nuts. Are we making pesto? No. But pine nuts add this buttery crunch that takes the filling to another level. Heat up a drizzle of olive oil in a small pan on medium heat. Then add the onion and red pepper. These need to soften up first, so I hit them with a small pinch of salt to help them sweat. Not too much, just enough to wake them up. After a few minutes, when they're looking nice and soft, I throw in the minced garlic. Garlic cooks fast, so give it about 30 seconds before moving on. Now the chorizo. The second it hits the pan, it starts releasing all that smoky paprika-infused oils. This is the moment where your kitchen starts smelling like a place people want to be in. And I'll toss in the pine nuts just for the last minute or so. They don't need much time, just enough to toast up a little bit and get that nutty, buttery flavor going. But before we mix all of this together, we need one final flavor booster: Worcestershire sauce. That's right, this sauce is like a cheat code for making anything taste better. Also, many people can't pronounce it correctly, which is always fun. Once everything is mixed, I let it cool down before we spread it into the lamb. We don't want to half cook the meat before it even hits the oven. Right, now comes the fun or frustrating part: rolling this thing up and tying it. If you never roll and tied meat before, don't panic. Roll it tight, but don't crush the filling. Think firm but gentle, like tucking in a baby, except this baby is delicious and going in the oven. This did not sound as I thought it would. Let's just move on before I make it worse. Tie it securely, making sure to knot every few inches. Not just at the ends, otherwise the middle will start to sag like a deflated balloon. Now, if it looks ugly but holds together, you did it right. If it falls apart, well, try again. Not gonna lie, if my butchers saw this, they'd probably have a stroke. But as long as it stays together, long enough to hit the pan, I'm calling it a success. Get a tray you can put on the stove so you can work it all in one go. We need to sear this lamb roll until it's golden brown because color equals flavor. Starting to look incredible. If you're not drooling yet, check your pulse. First, we'll add the big chunks of carrot and onions. We're not chopping them small because they're going to cook for hours. We want them to hold their shape and develop deep roasted flavors as they braise. Next, some smashed garlic. No need to mince this, just give it a good whack and toss it in. It will melt into the sauce as it cooks. Red wine, because lamb and wine equals magic. And I'll add some beef bouillon mixed with some hot water. It'll be deep, rich, and full of flavor. And a couple of bay leaves just because they make everything taste more, let's call it, finished. Now we cover the whole thing into foil to trap all that steam and flavor. Then bake it low and slow. 150 degrees Celsius for 4 hours. 4 hours gone, let's see what we got. Carefully remove the tray out of the oven. Wow, the lamb is glistening golden and practically falling apart. And those carrots and onions, oh, soft and absolutely loaded with flavor. This is the moment where you realize this is 100% worth the wait. And just because we finished the lamb does not mean we're done. First, we're taking out some of the liquid to make our sauce. Now, to get this sauce just right, strain out the vegetables, simmer the liquid on medium heat until it reduces and thickens. This step is where all the flavors intensify. Whisk in some butter to emulsify. This will make it glossy, smooth, and restaurant level good. And a little splash of lemon juice, because all that richness needs a little lift. And don't forget to taste and adjust for salt, pepper, or maybe just a touch of sugar if it's too acidic. And just like that, we've got a sauce that's silky deep and absolutely dripping with flavor. We've got this rich, tender, flavor-packed lamb, but we can't just stop there. And that's why this side dish comes in. It's a classic Portuguese dish that is simple, rustic, and honestly, kind of underrated. Slice the kale into thin strips by rolling the leaves into a roll. Pour in the braising liquid with the pieces of bread, stirring so the bread soaks up all that flavor and breaks into one mixture. In a pan with olive oil, fry the cabbage for a couple of minutes to crisp it up and get some color. When done, remove and add the bread into the pan. Fry for 5 minutes on medium-high until it becomes soft and sticky. Add some garlic paste and mix. To finish, add some lemon juice to give it some freshness. And our simple but delicious side dish is ready. Time to plate our dish. First, the lamb. We slice it into thick, juicy rounds, making sure to get that perfect cross-section where the stuffing peeks through. It's golden on the outside, meltingly tender inside. And we'll spoon that rich, buttery sauce right over the lamb. Not a drizzle, a real spoonful. No holding back. And then our side dish. Crispy yet soft, soaked up with that incredible depth from the braising liquid. We pile it up next to the lamb, making sure it's not just a side, it's a co-star. This looks like it belongs in a restaurant. Except, you made it. At home. Now, the moment of truth. Wow! The lamb, ridiculously tender. It practically melts the second it hits your tongue. The filling, smoky, rich, a little nutty from the pine nuts and packed with umami. And the sauce is silky, glossy, coating every bite in pure flavor. Wow! And together with the side dish, wow! They all work fantastically together. If I ever wake up in a simulation and realize none of this is real, I just hope the programmers let me eat this one more time before they unplug me. So now you know, lamb doesn't have to be expensive or complicated. With a little patience and the right tricks, you can turn the cheapest cut into something incredible. What if I told you there's another underrated cut of meat? And in this video here, I'll show you how to prepare it and make something incredible as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you there.